Hi everybody, this is Tor Storley, and I am back with another video. In this video, we're going to take a look at yet another DuckDB Community Extension. It's called Markdown. And if you want to get some more information about it, go to the Community Extension page for DuckDB and search for Markdown, which is read, analyze, and write Markdown files with block-level document representation and inline element support. So when you click, as usual, you get a landing page that tells you how to install it. So you can install Markdown from Community like this, and then you simply load it using this command here. So I'm gonna take that load command because I already installed this. But as you can see down here, they show you some example. And as usual, they also give you a reference to their GitHub repository. So make sure you check out and make sure that this extension is useful for you. As you can see here, it's for 1.4.3, it's actively maintained, and that's the version that I have. So go to this extension-ci-tools page and to look at the versions if you need to. So make sure it works with your DuckDB version. All right, so as you can see, that's the GitHub repository, and then there's some examples here. So I grabbed some of this stuff and I just fixed it up a little bit so I can actually test this out. So the first thing I want to do then is open a DuckDB CLI. Okay, so I opened the DuckDB UI, and in case you wonder if you haven't seen my videos before, you use this call start_UI function inside the DuckDB CLI, and it tells you the address that it loaded that page up on. So now that we have this, what I want to do is I want to create a new notebook here. So let's just call this Markdown. All right, so let's add some cells. So let me just copy some of my queries in here and run them as needed. So I'm going to put the first query in here, and it's going to go against this file here, as you can see, that starts, actually it's going to go against any file that starts with a P. So what it will do is it will query all the Markdown information that sits in this file here, this MD file. I'm going to open it up so you can actually see it. So here you can actually see what that file looks like in the preview section in my VS Code. And as you can see, there's some formulas here, and that's just one of those that starts with a P. There's some other files too, I believe. So anyways, I want you to get an idea of what it looks like. And over here on the left-hand side, you can see this is the actual Markdown text that is being queried. All right, so I'm going to run that query first by looking for anything that starts with a P in this folder and ends with a Markdown extension. And here it is, as you can see. So let me minimize each side here so we can have more real estate. And here you can see this is the actual text that is being returned by this function inside the Markdown library, as you can see over here. All right, so that's the first one. Let's add a few more queries to this one. And let me make sure I comment out the query number. So let's comment that out. And let's run the next one here. And this one is looking for this specific file. And what you want to get out of it is element type, content, and level. Okay, so let's see what that. And this is using this read Markdown block. This is just read Markdown. All right, so I'm looking for that specific blocks here. So let's see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, the element type for this piece is HTML. This one is a paragraph, more HTML, paragraph, HR. So it breaks out, like here's a table, and it breaks out from that Markdown document, the different element types. All right, so that's kind of nice. Let's try yet another query. This is query 3. And let's comment that guy out and run that. So now I'm looking for the language and the code based on a code snippet. So here you can see I'm extracting a code block. And if you know something about Markdown, you know you can prefix Markdown with these little tick. And here I'm saying R, and then I say print greetings. So in other words, this is the R language with this code snippet called print greetings. So let's see what that looks like. When you run it, you can see its languages are, it says print greetings. Now I could have done the same thing, but change it to Python. So if I do that, I can type Python and run it again. And now you can see the language is Python. So it recognizes the different parts of this Markdown. Very good. Now what I want to do is I want to create a new table, and let's just use the if not exist syntax. So if it exists, I won't create it. All right, so I created that. Let's insert some records into this minimalistic table of ours here. And I'm going to do that right here and run. So now, why did it only do one? Let's see what it produced. So let's see how many records there are. From, what was the table name? Names, okay. So it did insert all of these guys. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. So now let's write out some Markdown based on this table. So let's create a Markdown table and spool it to one of our folders. So I'm going to paste this guy in here and say, copy, select star from the names table into this file and make it a Markdown format. So let's see what that one does. Okay, it's done, 4 records. Let's go into the temp folder and take a look. So here you can see, here is that file that we just ran. So let's open it up and see what it looks like. And again, you can see this is a Markdown table, and it makes sense like this, right? And of course, we can always preview it in case we want to see what it actually looks like, but I'm not going to do that here. So you can see this is Markdown syntax for creating a table. All right, very good. So it actually created an output for us. I'm going to actually run this query here, and I'm going to extract out code examples, external links, and images. So this is a file that I got from the internet, and you can see it up here. There's a reference to that file, and the reason I got that one is because I wanted to see some images in addition to the other parts of the Markdown document. So let me just run that very quickly here. So this is what it looks like. This is the Markdown on the left-hand side. So let's make this a little bigger. So as you can see, this is what the Markdown output looked like. So there's lists, there's code, and then of course you have some images on the bottom. So I downloaded this file into my folder, and then I will extract out the parts from that file using this query that I just showed you. So let me go and run that query. So this is the one that's going to get it, but it's only going to get the length. It's not going to get the actual output. So let's run that. And as you can see, there's 5 code examples. There's 15 external links, and the 3 images in that file, which is this one here. And of course, there's some images on the bottom, those 3 images right there. All right, so that one seems to work. And finally then, my last query here, query number 6, is going to actually do a round trip. So it's going to extract content and create another Markdown document out of it. So as you can see, here it is. So I'm going to open this, and then we can look at it and see here is all the Markdown text that it produced. And here is the actual output from that file we just created from another Markdown document. I hope you like this video. And if you do, give me a like and consider subscribing to my channel. That'd be fantastic.